the Commission highlighted that most of the missing assets were owed in Texas to Maldives Inland Revenue Authority, MIRA. In this regard, the Commission noted that a total of $235 million is owed to MIRA as resort lease payment, and over $485,000 is owed as a goods and service tax (GST). In addition, the Commission has highlighted the judicial process was currently underway for these cases. Commission on State Assets Recovery was established by a presidential decree to analyze efforts taken by the institutions to recover state assets, highlighted in reports published by the Office of the Auditor General and the Anti-Corruption Commission. Minister of Fisheries and Agriculture Dr. Mohammed Shaini says the opposition has made several conditions related to the business interests of key individuals when the government extended invitation to resume all-party talks.
Speaking on PSM News, Minister of Fisheries and Agriculture Dr. Mohammed Shaini noted the government has extended invitations to the opposition on 10 occasions to resume all-party talks. The lead representative of the government at the all-party talks expressed with regret the opposition has rejected all attempts to engage with the administration in constructive dialogue. The Maldivian Fisheries Minister noted the opposition attempts to topple the lawfully elected government of Maldives instead of engaging in dialogue. The minister highlighted the calls of the opposition, especially former President Mohamed Nasheed, for foreign military intervention in the political affairs of the country. Minister Shaini urged the opposition to refrain from acts which would deliberately lead the country into chaos. Furthermore, he assured the presidential elections scheduled to be held in September 2018 would be free, fair and credible, highlighting the government is immensely prepared and ready to support the relevant authorities and stakeholders.
The Embassy of Maldives in Sri Lanka advises all Maldivians to stay vigilant following the state of emergency declared in Sri Lanka. A state of emergency has been imposed in Sri Lanka for the first time since the civil war, following days of communal violence between Sinhalese and Muslim communities. The special measures enacted by the government on Tuesday will see soldiers deployed across the island nation for an initial 10-day period in a bid to prevent the unrest from spreading. Maldivian Embassy in Sri Lanka advised all Maldivians living in Kandy to abstain from going out unless necessary. Furthermore, the embassy urged Maldivians to follow the instructions issued by the government of Sri Lanka. The newly appointed President of Elections Commission, Ahmed Sharif, assures the Commission will function without favouring any political interests. At a press conference held upon his appointment as the President of the Commission, Ahmed Sharif affirmed the upcoming presidential elections will be held according to laws and regulations. Speaking about the first and foremost priority, Ahmed Sharif said the Commission would attempt to amend the Elections Commission Act to pave way for more transparency. He added the Commission will be swift in implementing its mandate and gain the trust of the public in its efforts. Ahmed Sharif was appointed as a member of Elections Commission under Article 168B of the Elections Commission Act. President Abdullah Yamin Abdul Qayyum handed the letter of appointment to Ahmed Sharif at a function held at the President's office. The Parliament of Maldives approved Ahmed Sharif as a member of Elections Commission, with 33 parliamentarians voting in favour of the nomination. Prior to his appointment to the Elections Commission, Ahmed Sharif has been serving as the Managing Director of Fenaka Corporation Limited. After conducting successful tests, the ice plant installed in Hiralandu of Thai Atoll comes into service. Ministry of Fisheries and Agriculture contracted the installation of the ice plant to Maldives Industrial Fisheries Company, MIFCO, in 2014. MIFCO revealed the ice plant in Hiralandu is capable to produce 25 tons of ice per day. The installation of ice plant was funded by the state budget and cost about $194,000. The government of Maldives has been increasing its efforts to install ice plants across the country to ease the difficulties faced by fishing vessels in acquiring ice while at sea. Advocating the rights of children, ARC reveals the organization has been successful in identifying the major issues faced by children via numerous campaigns conducted over the years. In an interview with PSM News, Managing Director of ARC said some of the issues have been addressed in schools, while other serious cases have been brought to the attention of relevant authorities.
Advocating the Rights of Children, ARC is a non-governmental, non-partisan, non-profit organization registered in the Maldives in December 2009. With a mission to protect and promote the rights and well-being of children of Maldives, ARC hopes to be the voice of children in the country, advocating for their health, safety, education and well-being. The main areas of work of ARC include working closely with child shelters, advocacy and raising awareness on the rights of children through national and international outreach. With over 9 years of service in Maldives, ARC has expanded its scope in Maldives by venturing into new areas of work. In an interview with PSM News, Managing Director of ARC, Murtala Muhammad, revealed the organization has expanded its scope by initiating 5 new campaigns to target key areas of focus such as disabled children, safe internet usage, addressing issues of girl children. In this regard, Murtala Muhammad said the Hope campaign is amongst the most successful campaigns ever to be conducted in the country. The campaign targets students studying in grades 4 to 8, aimed at delivering information on identifying, tackling and filing complaints on the abuse on children. Murtala noted the campaign, which has been conducted in a larger scale, covered a total of 4 atolls in Maldives and has been successful in identifying major issues faced by children in the school environment. On this note, Murtala cited the extensive efforts exerted to solve the issues faced by children by associating with other relevant stakeholders. Murtala added ARC has successfully carried out training programs for caretakers of the children living in state home care shelters.
And in business, we have Minister of Fisheries and Agriculture Dr. Mohammed Shaini reveals plans of the administration to export yellowfin tuna products to the United States. Speaking at a program aired on PSM News, the Maldivian Fisheries Minister noted fish prices would be maintained without much fluctuations once yellowfin tuna products are directly exported to the United States. Highlighting that Maldives exports the highest number of yellowfin tuna to European markets, Minister Shaini said prices of the product reduces every year during the winter season. The minister said the tremendous efforts of the administration to arrange means to directly export yellowfin tuna to the United States would see positive changes in the prices of the product during winter. He assured the administration continuously works to expand the fishing sector and to ease the issues faced by the fishing folk in the Maldives. State Trading Organization STO decides to reduce the prices of diesel and petrol. STO said a petrol litre would be sold for 10.11 rupiah, which is a 0.30 rupiah decrease, while a diesel litre would be sold for 10.21 rupiah, which is a 0.20 rupiah decrease compared to the current prices. The state-owned company cited the changes in oil prices in the international market for reducing the prices of petrol and diesel sold in the Maldives. The latest price changes implemented by STO was on January 17, when the company set the prices of a petrol and diesel litre at 10.41 rupiah. President Abdullah Yamin Abdul Qayyum has pledged to facilitate the opening of 50 new resorts in his first term in office. The Maldivian tourism industry is now gearing up to commence the operation of at least 20 new resorts by the end of 2019.
Tourism is the largest economic industry in the Maldives, as it plays an important role in earning foreign exchange revenues and generating employment opportunities in the tertiary sector of the country. The archipelago of the Maldives is the main source of attraction to many tourists visiting the country worldwide. The government of Maldives exerts major efforts to enhance the tourism sector of the country. President Abdullah Yamin Abdul Gayoom pledged to facilitate the opening of 50 new resorts to the market in his first term in office. While 11 resorts began its operation in 2016, and the additional 13 resorts opened in 2017. The Maldivian tourism industry is now gearing up to commence the operation of at least 20 new resorts by the end of 2019. To achieve the goal, a lot of private investments and foreign investors are contributing to the sector, with world-renowned resort brands and franchises brought to Maldives. In this regard, Italian Baglioni Company is set to open a resort in Maldives. Siru Femfushi Resort, developed in Maldives, is gearing up to open in April under its new management, Fairmount. The second resort of Lux Resorts and Hotels, Lux North Mal Atoll, will be open within the next 3 months. More resorts on its way to the market include Moven Pikkuredivaru, Carpe Diem Beach Resort and Spa, and Oblu Select at Sangale. With the rapid expansion of the tourism industry, Maldives has been appreciating and welcoming new and unique concepts in the newly opened resorts. Likewise, Kudadu Maldives private island by Huravali is nearing its opening, with a limited 15 overwater villas and an underwater restaurant, especially for tourists seeking a private vacation. Moreover, Emerald Maldives Resort and Spa, Pullman Mamuta, Waldorf Astoria Maldives, Grand Melia Maldives, Sentara Grand Mutafushi and Chatwal Marg Maldives are also preparing to step into the tourism industry of Maldives. One resort which is notable for its unique concept is Nautilus Maldives, which will have just 26 suites with 2 and 3 bedrooms with a kitchen and a sitting room. With the efforts of the government, tourist arrivals see an increase every month. In this regard, the number of tourist arrivals increased by 13.6% in January 2018 compared to the same month of last year.
Sri Lankan President Maithripala Sirisena declares a nationwide state of emergency for 7 days in a bid to curb communal violence after clashes erupted between majority Buddhists and members of the Muslim minority. Here's more on this.
The move came after police said Sinhalese mobs targeted the properties of minority Muslims in eastern and central Sri Lanka, incensed by the death of a Sinhalese truck driver after a clash with Muslim youths in the central Kandy district on Sunday. It was not clear why the initial altercation occurred, but after the driver's funeral on Monday, a Sinhalese mob attacked Muslim shops. Police said early on Tuesday the body of a Muslim youth was found in a burnt-out shop. Tension has been growing between the two communities in Sri Lanka over the past year, with some hardline Buddhist groups accusing Muslims of forcing people to convert to Islam and vandalizing Buddhist archaeological sites. Some Buddhist nationalists in Sri Lanka have also protested against the presence of Muslim Rohingya asylum seekers from mostly Buddhist Myanmar, where Buddhist nationalism has also been on the rise. Muslims make up about 9% of Sri Lanka's 21 million people. Buddhists comprise about 70% and ethnic Tamils, most of whom are Hindus, about 13%.
Juventus manager says Argentine strikers Paulo Dybala and Gonzalo Higuain will face Tottenham Hotspur in their Champions League last 16 clash at Wembley.
Juventus manager Massimiliano Allegri also said winger Douglas Costa could feature as last season's runners-up try to reach the last 8, despite being underdogs, having drawn the first leg 2-2 in Turin last month. Dybala scored the winner against Lazio at the weekend in his first game back from hamstring injury that ruled him out of the first clash with Tottenham. Higuain, who scored twice but missed a penalty in the first leg, has been sidelined with an ankle injury for 3 weeks. While Tottenham dominated the first leg after slipping 2-0 behind after 10 minutes, veteran keeper Gianluigi Buffon believes Juventus are at their most dangerous when in trouble. Allegri and Buffon also paid their respects to Fiorentina captain Davide Astori, who died at the weekend.
The oldest known message in a bottle is put on display at the Western Australia Museum.
The bottle was found on a beach in Western Australia 132 years after it was thrown overboard. The bottle was found by Tonya Illman in January 2018 on St. Dunes, north of Wedge Island, 180 kilometres north of Perth, Western Australia.
I got out to walk around and I noticed a lot of rubbish, and my immediate thought was to pick some up and take it home and throw it out. And I bent down and picked up that bottle that was at my feet, and that was it. As simple as that.
After taking out the message, the Illmans took the bottle to the WA Museum to verify their find. The message features a foam format with the handwritten date of June 12, 1886 and name of the German ship Paula.
We think it's the Captain Diekman of the Paula, who probably wrote on this message, put it in this little bottle, threw it overboard, and also wrote in the journal that he had thrown the bottle overboard. So it's quite stunning. I've never really experienced anything that corroborates so fully as this.
The foam was part of a drift bottle experiment by the German Naval Observatory to understand ocean currents. The message and the bottle will be on display at the Western Australia Museum for 2 years.
Well, that's it for now. Stay tuned for more updates of recent current affairs stories here on PSM News. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.